of the time through high school. I even got a chance to be the valedictorian speaker at graduation time. Now, I got to lay another one out on you. There were only 10 in my class. But I love them. I love them so much. And when we had our 50 reunion, just a few years back, it seems, it was back, in 2003. But a buddy of mine who was in Georgia, I was talking to him one night on the phone, and I said, I want to get a chair, like a bench. This is with all 10 names on it. That's all that was left of the graduating class that I had. Actually, I take it back, only 9 of us were left. And I said, I want to put everybody's name on it and put it on the trail that goes from the little high school I attended all down the railroad tracks and the river to the end. And I said, and people, as they go on the trail, and it's, sort of a thing to do back there, not much to do, but anyway, they'll see that bench with the 10 names of the class of 1953. And it'll be the first bench they'll see as they start coming out of Little Converse. Population 947. It's been that way ever since I can remember. Same one. Well, today, if you go there and you go start riding that trail, all of a sudden, here's this bench. And it's got all the names of the 10 students that were in my class. And I got to tell you, every time I see it, well, what can I do? The tears well up in Max's eyes. But my class is so pleased that their name is there. As it'll always be there in my mind. And you know something? I want to thank you all for my mom and dad. They were just so important to me in my life. And there they are. My name, their son, is on that bench. And it's engraved in that bench. And I know they're up there with a smile on their face. That, thanks, Max. That's good. That's very, very good. So, that's a little anecdote. If you ever get to Converse, start walking down the trail. It's only 3 miles. It's only 3 miles you can go. Now, let me go with a few things that you may know or you may not that happened while things were with me here. First place, one, I love the location of the principal's office. I hand-selected that, and we had the elementary school parents program right beside it, so you couldn't go out my back door without seeing the little kids. But every once in a while, that door would be closed, and I'd get a little knock on the door, open the door, and it was a little kid, maybe 4 years old, 5 years old. Hi, Mr. Fraley. Do you have any candy? I always kept candy. And that really made something special of that office along with what was on this campus. That enrollment of these little kids with us and their parents. One of the points of that program was to have their parents come back and go to school here to finish their high school program, to get their ESL done, and so forth. Move on from that. We had a program clear across the United States of America. In fact, we had a couple of them. But one of them, Hillary Clinton, First Lady of the land, who was in charge of the literacy program across this country. And there were only like maybe 15 schools selected for what they did with the literacy program. 15 schools. And she was going to visit the schools that gained the honor of a literacy giant. And we got a letter that said, congratulations, your school for adults has won or something, I'm using the wrong number there, but she says are going to be representative of the 20 schools or whatever it is that, have won that award. Well, my God, it was something. And we had plans. She was going to come. She was going to come. And then at the last minute, the week before, we got a letter that said, Mr. Fraley, we're very sorry, but Mrs. Clinton cannot attend. And she was going around, things had come up the home front. That wasn't a surprise. But she said, we are going to send you a motion picture of Mrs. Clinton thanking the School for Adults at Long Beach for what they have done with the adult community and literacy, setting an example across the country. Well, hey, we did. We had a nice little assembly. Mrs. Clinton gave a nice little speech, but that speech was directed to the Long Beach School for Adults. It was special for us. Not very many people in the city of Long Beach knew that. But boy, did it stay with the School for Adults, their staff, and what we had accomplished. Now, moving on from Mrs. Clinton, got another letter. This time it came from the State Department of Education, or not State Department, the federal, whatever it was, that we had been selected because of our special programming for adults to be a representative of all programs. And we were going to be the host to the Parliament of England and their education department. You have been selected to be representative for the program that they want to start. And we did. One day, I'll never forget it. We had our ROP here at that time. They made little sandwiches and so forth. And we had 3 cars, 2 Rolls Royce, and the other was a Mercedes Benz. Well, that got in there, and everybody knows. So all I know is the first 2 Rolls Royce pulled up, and 2 big gentlemen got out, nice decorated suits, the kind you would wear to Parliament, and they came in and they had lunch with us in this very room I take it back, room next door, ROP. And, there it was. We had won this recognition. Not very many people remember that, but I'll always remember it because they shook my hand. Mom and Dad were looking down, and I was pleased, I was pleased, not just for Max, but for all my staff and the people that worked here, like Carol McDonald and so forth. That was my quarter pounder, right? Right on, and so forth. Well, there's so many other little things like that happen that you remember. We had Miss Betty Garrett up here on our stage one night. That was Larry Parks'